You are considering relocating yourself or your family to somewhere other than where you currently live. You want some basic information about considering a move to the Portland and Vancouver region. This is a great place to start. I am going to be providing an overview of the region, the city of Portland, and all the suburbs, with maps to orient you to where these suburbs are in relation to downtown Portland. Hello, this is Joseph Nelson with the Ascend Home team. I am a licensed realtor in both Oregon and Washington. All of my contact information is shown below each video in the, interestingly enough, Show More section. And you must contact me because I have absolutely no way to contact you. And make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel so that you are informed of new videos which I make each week. This is the week of February 15th. February has been an absolutely beautiful month here in the Portland, Vancouver area. We've had very little rain, slightly cooler temperatures topping out around 50 and getting down to around 40, but it's just been beautiful. And this is kind of typical for February. We usually plan on at least 2 good weeks of sunny weather in February. So first of all, let's talk about why you would want to move here. And if these features don't resonate with you, then you don't want to move here. It is for the beauty of the area, the absolute beauty. It is green, there's lots of water, the climate is mild, and we have an endless supply of recreational opportunities here year-round. We are also free from natural disasters. Oh sure, back in 1963 we had a windstorm with hurricane force winds, but as a general rule we do not have natural disasters here. This makes the Portland and Vancouver area a lifestyle dream. But let's get into the primary content here. An explanation of the Portland and Vancouver area, including the suburbs, with interactive maps. And we have to start with Portland, because Portland is the hub, and even when you move to a suburb, you're going to say that you live in Portland to people that have no idea where Beaverton is. The city of Portland holds the best walkable live-in neighborhoods that allow for you to not even own a car, if that's your preference. Walk to restaurants, walk to the bank, walk to shops, and all these locations also have good mass transit access. So you truly would not need to own a car to live here. Although, when it comes to recreation, I think you're going to want one. Okay, right here, we've got the downtown city core of Portland, just to the east of the Willamette River, Hawthorne District. Next, Alameda Arts District, Mississippi District, the Pearl, in Northwest Portland, St. John's, and the Kenton District. These all offer the best access to live and shop and dine without having to really even have a car. To me, this is one of the 2 lifestyles and reasons that you would want to live in the city of Portland. But you will endure the negative side of living in Portland. And many people are willing to endure this because of the undeniable lifestyle that it offers. All of the areas that we looked at that are walkable in the city of Portland share these problems to a greater or lesser degree. And as time passes, greater or lesser degree. Homelessness is out of control. This brings garbage, property crime, tents set up right on sidewalks in the city streets. Until the city government changes their attitudes and policies, this will continue. And it may even take the election of new leaders. In the city of Portland, there is a lack of police response for anything other than imminent danger to life. Generally, no response to property crime. No prosecution of the usage of drugs, even meth and heroin. No enforcement of the camping laws. No enforcement of piles of garbage along the streets, and only occasional removal of this garbage. little enforcement of stolen cars and even cars being stripped so that they can sell the parts in plain sight. You know, most of the areas that are the most walkable and most desirable in the city of Portland are kept free of this mayhem. But within a few short blocks away, you will find all of this activity. But it seems most folks that I work with, and maybe because I attract people generally 50 years of age and up, it seems to be the millennial generation are the ones who desire this walkable lifestyle more than anyone else. And they are willing to endure some of this stuff to have this lifestyle. And if that's your lifestyle, I can support that. So as we move away from the city of Portland, there is one community in Hillsboro that is walkable. Now, granted, the scale of this community is much smaller, but I would strongly recommend a serious look at this community. Okay, this community that we're going to talk about next is outside the city of Portland on the western suburb of Hillsboro. And this is called a Renko Station. It's about right here. So coming out of Portland, Highway 26, and then south on 185th, and then some other side streets to get to our Renko Station. We're going to zoom in next and show you some of the awesome opportunities that exist in this community. Okay, here's a Renko Station. Shows a little icon here for a train. There is a max train stop right there. Tons of bus access is awesome. So again, we're coming out Sunset Highway from downtown Portland, about 15 minutes. We're going to go south on 185th. And then we're going to come in on a side street here, Cornell Road, and drop down into a Renko Station. Between a Renko Station and 185th, there's just a ton of shopping. Now, some of this you're going to have to hop on a bus to get to. There is some shopping and dining right at a Renko Station. There are condos above retail shops, that type of community. There's also single-family homes near that are walkable to a Renko Station. But most of this you're going to either have to drive or get on a bus. But up here, especially in this area right here, is a ton of shopping. And even along Cornell Road here, there are quite a few really good newer shopping centers. There's a ton of shopping out here. It's totally worth a look for more of a suburban walkable experience. But to me, the holy grail of lifestyle is the floating home community on Hayden Island. This is also in the city limits of Portland. I say this is the holy grail of lifestyle because it is very specific lifestyle oriented. Boating, kayaking, swimming, right off of your dock on your home. To me, there is no better example of a lifestyle than what is provided from a floating home, which I do live in. The largest floating home community is JBMI, Jansen Beach Mortgage Incorporated, and there are 175 floating homes in this mortgage. There are floating homes all up the channel between the Oregon mainland and Hayden Island. This is Hayden Island here. JBMI is the only truly walkable community in a floating home community. This area right here is the Jansen Beach Mall, and this is an easy walk. Here you will find 30 shops from casual to fine dining, some big box stores, along with all kinds of smaller shops and restaurants. And right here, you can catch either the Portland or the Vancouver city buses. So this is another location with the ultimate in lifestyle living if you like the water, for walkable shopping in Portland. And for more information, see one of my many floating home videos on my channel. So these are the primary reasons to move to the city of Portland, in my opinion. But there are some very expensive communities within the city of Portland, especially in the West Hills, that have amazing views of the city. And these are in the multi-millions, and many or most of these neighborhoods are safe because they have some separation from any services or retail establishments. They're 10 or 20 blocks from the nearest store. But you still will have to endure the problems with the City of Portland Police, which has limited response to anything but imminent threat of human life. They are understaffed, and they are working on more pressing issues than property crime. And when government, I'd even put myself in this category, when we become totally reactive, we become ineffective. Being proactive, to me, is the way we want to be. And the city of Portland is not proactive on safety. Most of the suburbs have their own police departments and are responsive to their citizens. So next we're going to take a broader look at the awesome suburbs outside of the city of Portland. Most of these will require a car to drive to get groceries, to go to a restaurant, etc. And these are more or less bedroom communities. But this physical separation, distance from freeways and retail opportunities, stores, restaurants, shopping areas, provide a level of safety. In Southwest Washington, the Vancouver property values are slightly less for a comparable home than in the Portland suburbs on the Oregon side of the Columbia River. The region in Southwest Washington is largely safe and free from a lot of the things we talked about in the city of Portland. And freeway access from Vancouver to the Portland International Airport is generally 10 to 15 minutes away. The freeways to access the suburbs are as follows. First, going north into Vancouver, we use either from Portland 205 or Interstate 5, I-5. They come together up on the north side of Vancouver. East and west, we have State Route 14, SR 14. And this accesses many of the communities that are near the Columbia River. So the major suburbs in the Vancouver area would be Salmon Creek. Just north of that, Ridgefield. We have Camas over here, Washougal. And East Vancouver, which has some really good values and amazing shopping in this area. But aside from a small, walkable city downtown core of Camas, none of this is what I would consider walkable shopping. This is all suburban living. There are some really good values in the Vancouver area, but when we get to Camas, which I love Camas, it's an awesome community that has awesome schools. But the biggest challenge that we have in Camas is finding a quality home, a luxury home, that's not 4,000 square feet. I've had clients not opposed to spending $1 million for a home, and many of the homes in Camas do exceed $1 million. And they have beautiful views of the Columbia River or of the Cascade Ring. But the fact is they don't want or need 4,000 square feet, and that is typically what we see in Camas and $1 million homes. There just aren't many quality smaller homes in Camas in the most desirable neighborhoods. And when they come on the market, expect them to be extremely competitive. I recently worked with some clients that offered $650,000 on a 1,400 square foot, extremely well upgraded mid-century ranch home. It was on the market for $569 and sold for close to $700,000. They did not get this property. And that's $464 a square foot in a community where the average home costs $306 a square foot. Sorry for the lengthy sidebar on Camas, but that is a reality in Camas. Okay, now let's take a look at the suburbs on the Oregon side of the river. Columbia River, this divides Oregon and Washington. We just talked about the Vancouver area. So working down from Vancouver, we're going to take Interstate 205, I-205, and this goes all the way down, comes around, and meets I-5. At the time, 205 was built as a bypass freeway from Interstate 5. So coming down 205, we have Happy Valley, awesome community. Right below that, doesn't show it by a label, there's Clackamas, Milwaukee, lower price point there. Oregon City, kind of a mixture of lower price points and even upper end residential. Doesn't show it here as a label, but this is West Lynn, very affluent community. Right next to that, Lake Oswego, which is probably the most affluent community in the Portland, Vancouver area. Okay, coming down to the western suburbs, we come down I-5. Let's first go all the way down I-5. Western suburbs are accessed by either Highway 26, the Sunset Highway. We talked about that earlier. There's Hillsboro, Beaverton, and 217. Kind of a connector freeway between I-5 and 26, and that also accesses Tigard and Beaverton and Hillsboro. You can alternately access Lake Oswego from I-5. It's kind of in between. Coming further down I-5, we've got Tualatin, Sherwood, a little bit more off the beaten path, but a very desirable community. And then Wilsonville is kind of the last suburb to the south as we head down I-5. Once we get over the Willamette River here, we're pretty much into the country and away from the sprawl of the Portland metro area. So you will find all of these communities we've talked about on the Oregon side of the Columbia River, the suburbs of Portland, to be entirely or mostly safe and desirable bedroom communities. Beaverton and Hillsboro are within an easy commute to Nike in Beaverton, Intel, and the rest of the high-tech stuff in the Silicon Forest of Hillsboro. And refer to my channel for videos on, I believe, all of the communities that I've touched on today. So I hope this gives you a good visual understanding of where these suburbs are in relation to the city of Portland, what to expect in the way of travel, and what freeways are available between these suburban communities, and where they are located in relation to one another. And with that, if you desire to start your own moving experience, you absolutely have to call or text me. Otherwise, again, we will never connect. And again, with that, I am waiting for your text or call. Thank you.